friends, welcome back to our PERIDOT TV. Tinubu speaks on backing Buhari's moves against Osinbajo vice presidential ambition. Former Lagos State Governor and also the national leader of the All Progressive Congress (APC), Bola Ahmed Tinubu, alias Jagaban, has dismissed speculation that he was working against Vice President Yemi Osinbajo over the 2023 presidency. I brought you a story recently, and he's also a pastor too. He's called Bakari, Pastor Tunde Bakari of Latter Days Assembly. He also said God has ordained him. In fact, he said he was born for this, that he will be the 16th president in Nigeria. In fact, a lot of people just want that position. And one would think and kind of reflect, are they really interested in serving, or they just want that power, the opportunities that they think they will get being the president? Anyway, he said he's not involved in any speculation that he's working against Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. Everyone has their take. Everyone has the opportunity to, get to become president. He also, somehow people are saying there is this rumor that he also wants to become president. He said this in a reaction to the latest actions taken by President Muhammadu Buhari, allegedly targeted at his deputy. When this story was brought out, a lot of people said it's all rumor, that it's a lie, and all of that. But then people were very swift to realize that every move in politics is very important, as a particular person can actually be put out somehow. It might just fall out of glory within seconds. President Muhammadu Buhari reportedly met recently with Tinubu and Chief Bisi Akande, former interim national chairman of the APC. He reportedly complained about certain actions of the vice president and allegedly asked the door to prevail on Osinbajo to resign his appointment from the cabinet. Now, who does that? There are a lot of discrepancies when you look into the groups, the cabals, or the assembly of Buhari. There are a lot of people from his own part, from the northern part of Nigeria. Now, a lot of people have pointed fingers and they will say, this person is corrupt, this person is not supposed to be where he is right now. But Buhari will pretend like he doesn't know anything, as if he doesn't see. I think the man is trying to protect his own interest. Finally, maybe when he eventually leaves that post, he will have his people from his own region still interested and still friends with him, and they can actually point fingers at him and say Sai Baba, something like that. So he's trying to create a kind of godfatherism. He wants to be the godfather of the rest of the Hausa Fulanis in the north of Nigeria. So he wants them to see him as a very good person, a god or something. He's also trying to create an opportunity for the people from the north to continue ruling Nigeria, as that is the case now. That's the story. I brought you a story where one professor in the northern part of Nigeria is actually saying that they are born to rule. That's what he's saying. He said they are born to rule, and he brought out some stories, and he said they should rule beyond 2023. So it is not going to be a new thing if Buhari met with Tinubu and Chief Bisi Akande, and is trying to push them, trying to kind of force them into pressuring the vice president right now. He reportedly complained about certain actions of the vice president, like I said, and allegedly asked the door to prevail on him, to push him out, to find a way of speaking to him and demoralizing him on something. But we all know that when Buhari was not in Nigeria, when he went for his sick leave in the United Kingdom, we realized that Osinbajo was able to function properly. Swift actions were taken and the economy was moving in the right direction until Buhari came in. That tells you that Nigeria needs to break apart. That's just what it is, because some regions will try to stifle the growth of the other regions, and we see that for a very long time now. There are a lot of, in fact, basic amenities are not just in Nigeria. Basic amenities have been taken away from Nigeria. It's like a luxury. That's what it is. And now they are saying that they should. I'm not saying that there aren't any discrepancies when you look into the supposed agency that the vice president was supervising. They said there were some contracts that they claimed that there were a lot of issues. Some even claimed that the 10,000 naira that the trader money was not actually 10,000 naira, it was 6,000 naira. Now I don't have facts. I cannot actually prove all of this, but there are groups of people in Buhari's administration that are from the northern part of Nigeria, like I said earlier, that are part of corruption. In fact, they are corruption personified. That's what they are, corruption personified. And Buhari is not really acting. Sometimes he acts like he doesn't know what he's doing, but the man knows what he's doing. He's actually giving opportunity to the North to climb further in this their race of grabbing Nigeria and bringing Nigeria down to their knees finally. So pushing Yemi Osinbajo out, asking him to quit. I don't know what that is going to be anyway. According to a popular newspaper, while Akande was said to have opposed resignation, Tinubu allegedly supported the president and claimed that nothing was wrong with Osinbajo quitting if found to be culpable. Now that tells you, if this is true, if all of these informations are true, then it tells you that we are in hot soup. I mean, in fact, not the hot soup. We are in the fire already. It's just people are just waiting to get burnt finally and maybe die. That is what it is. If Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is saying this, probably he believes that Buhari is going to hand over to him, just like how they agreed. But he knows what they call politicking. Right now, they are focusing on how to solidify their own space. I don't think some other groups, some other regions, will be the vice president if they find a way of pushing him out somehow. Maybe they might find some gullible Yoruba man or Igbo man to take over so that they were able to shut down this clamor for break away from Nigeria. I don't know the politics that they're about to play here. Reacting, Tinubu's spokesperson, Tunde Rahman, denied rift between his principal and Osinbajo. Of course, what do you expect him to say? He's definitely going to keep his mouth shut. He said there is no truth in the allegation that Asiwaju Bola Tinubu is against the vice president. There is nothing stopping the vice president from nursing a presidential ambition. If he wants to run, let him run. Now, that's a different thing. If he wants to run, let him run. He is on his own. But right now, we are going to destroy his credibility. We are going to destroy everything that Nigerians are actually looking at. Of course, the guy shined when Buhari wasn't there, right? So if we find a way of pushing him out and destroy any kind of legacy that he has, example, he functioned properly, like I said. He was able to improve on the economy when Buhari was out, and he visited certain places that Buhari would never have bothered to visit when there was a lot of crisis in Nigeria. And a lot of people are already looking at him and say, I think this vice president is more is the president is supposed to be the president, why Buhari should be the head of the old people's home. But unfortunately, that is not what it is right now. Where you find someone that has no level, someone that claims that is a man that is upright, but he is not really upright per se, because he practices nepotism. That's what I see here. Now, I don't know what this man is involved in, the vice president, even though they call him a pastor. That means nothing. I don't know if there are some people under his watch that are involved in some corrupt practices, just like how there are people involved in corrupt practices under the same Buhari, and he has done nothing about it. Buhari does not have O level. A lady came, falsified NYC certificate, and somehow they pushed her out. Yes, they pushed her out, but Buhari does not want to step down. So if Bola Ahmed Tinubu is saying, yeah, deal with him, tell him to quit if he's not responding to, if he's not up and doing, well, probably he's speaking right. Like, if this guy, what about the rest that are involved in corrupt practices too? Why don't we give the same equal amount of punishment to all of those people? Why do we keep certain people because they are from the northern part of Nigeria? So these are very troubling, issues that we need to look into. So he went further to say, we are all watching and waiting. It is all a bundle of lies, and Asiwaju Tinubu is unhappy about that. People are just politicizing the situation. Tinubu cannot muscle his own boy in any way. He said last Thursday, Osinbajo stated that the Economic Management Team, EMT, which he had, was not scrapped or dissolved by the president. Of course, they gave it to somebody else to handle. Buhari had a body constituted an Economic Advisory Council, ESA, which is widely believed will take over the functions of the EMT. In response to an inquiry from the National Economic Council, NEC, which comprises the 36 state governors, the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, among others, Osinbajo noted that both councils were for the benefit of the president. He added that if NEC want to be briefed regularly by the Economic Advisory Council (EAC), we will request the president to do that. Osinbajo explained to the council that such interaction will promote synergy. Speaking to newsmen after the meeting, Governor Inuwa Yahya of Gombe State confirmed that he and his colleagues discussed Buhari's new team with the Vice President. Yahya said governors requested for clarification from NEC chairman, the Vice President Osinbajo, on the relationship between NEC and the newly formed Economic Advisory Council. And the Vice President explained that those councils are advisory for the benefit of the President, while NEC is established by the Constitution. They are to complement one another. He added that NEC could be briefed regularly on the activities of the Economic Advisory Council with the permission of the president. So what's your take about this? Of course, the man will be very careful. He will not just want to speak anyhow. I'm talking of Osinbajo himself right now, because this is politics. You just don't throw all your cards out there. You want to be very careful because you don't know where the table might turn. Let us know at the comment section below. Are you a concerned Nigerian? Do you think Osinbajo would have performed better? Don't forget that Osinbajo, according to the Constitution, cannot just act without the permission of the president. It's like the Constitution is not just functional. I mean, it's functional for them anyway because they created it, but the Constitution is not structured in a way that the vice president can actually handle certain things without the president muscling on him. Let us meet at the comment section, and while you're there, may I remind you to kindly tap on that subscription button. It's very important so that you will be notified whenever new videos are uploaded. Thanks for stopping by.